The click in the wall. The first night, Eli barely noticed it. A soft, irregular clicking threaded through the walls of his apartment, thin as fingernails tapping glass. He lay on his mattress, staring at the cracked ceiling, telling himself it was the building settling. Old place, cheap rent, drafty windows that breathed cold air even when shut. Pipes, radiator, maybe even something in the walls. College town housing always came with personality. By the third night, it had a pattern. Not loud, not constant, just deliberate. Click. Pause. Click, click. Pause. Click. Eli sat up at his desk, headphones around his neck, assignment forgotten. He held his breath. The clicking stopped. He exhaled. It started again. By the end of the week, irritation had turned into something sharper. The landlord hadn't responded to his texts. Old building noises, the auto reply had said, totally normal. So Eli decided to prove it. He set his laptop on the nightstand and opened a recording app. The glow of the screen lit the room in cold blue. He hit record and lay back, forcing himself to stay still. At first, nothing. Then, click. Click, click. Click. It went on for 20 minutes. When he finally played it back, the sound felt different through headphones. Closer. Intentional. Like someone tapping from the other side of a thin barrier, not random expansion and contraction. Eli frowned and dragged the waveform across the screen. The spacing between clicks was consistent. Too consistent. Okay, he muttered, rubbing his eyes. That's weird. He opened a browser tab, typed, patterns in clicking sounds meaning. Then, simple codes, tapping sounds. Then, after a pause, Morse code chart. He laughed under his breath. No way. Still, he copied the sequence down. Short clicks, long pauses, clusters. An hour later, the laughter was gone. I like your hair today. Eli stared at the translated text until the words blurred. No, he said aloud, shaking his head. No. That's a coincidence. That's me forcing it. He replayed the audio. Click, 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 click. The rhythm was undeniable now, structured, watching. That night, he didn't sleep. The clicking started as soon as he turned off the lights. Softer this time. Slower. Click. Pause. Click. Eli lay perfectly still, eyes open in the dark. His chest rose and fell in shallow breaths. The clicking matched nothing. No pipes, no vents. It wasn't reacting to temperature or water use. It was waiting. He shifted slightly. The clicking resumed immediately, faster now. Click, 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 click. Eli froze. The sound accelerated when he stopped moving. That realization settled into his stomach like a stone. Okay, he whispered, voice barely audible. Okay, that's not... The clicking sped up. He snapped his mouth shut. Silence. A long, suffocating silence. Then, slowly, click, click. Measured again. Calm. Listening. The next day, Eli skipped class. He sat at his desk, replaying recordings, mapping patterns. Every time he spoke during recording, the rhythm shifted, subtle but noticeable. When he went quiet, the clicking intensified, almost impatient. Adaptive. Learning. By evening, his hands were shaking. This isn't real, he told himself. It's not, it's just acoustics. Signal interference, something stupid. But the translated phrases kept forming. I hear you. You move a lot. Why did you stop? Eli slammed the laptop shut. The room fell into a thick, listening quiet. From the wall behind him, click. He didn't plan to respond, not at first, but fear has a way of curdling into something else when it sits too long. Curiosity, defiance, a need to prove you're not powerless. By midnight, Eli was sitting cross-legged on his bed staring at the wall. The clicking had been steady for the past hour. Slow, observant. Click. Pause. Click, click. His heart pounded so loudly, he was sure it could hear that too. Fine, he whispered. He raised his knuckles, hesitated, then knocked once. A sharp, hollow sound against the drywall. The clicking stopped instantly. Not faded, not slowed. Stopped. Eli held his breath. The silence that followed wasn't empty. It felt full, thick, pressurized, like the air before a storm breaks. 1 minute passed, then 5, then 10. Eli's shoulders began to relax, just slightly. See? He murmured. Nothing, it's nothing. He let out a nervous laugh and leaned back against the wall. The thud came from directly behind his head. Not a tap, not a knock. A heavy, solid impact from inside the wall. Ah! Eli screamed and lurched forward, scrambling off the bed, heart slamming against his ribs. Before the sound could even finish echoing, something else followed. Not a click, not tapping. A voice. Soft. Close. Pressed right against the other side of the drywall. So close he could hear the shape of the breath behind it. Don't talk back. Eli stood frozen in the center of the room. The wall was silent again. Completely. As if it had never made a sound at all. But he didn't sleep that night. And he didn't move much either, because every time he stopped, just for a second, he could feel it.